All right, guys, we're going to get started in a second. Just give me a moment here.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Hey, I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. As I said yesterday, I wanted to jump on here and kind of talk about this Dwight Howard situation. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, yeah, it's fine. So listen, guys, I wanted to jump on here and talk about the Roycereed from Basketball Wives. As you guys probably already know, she has come out and she has made some allegations. And for those of you that may not know, or just maybe you're not familiar with the story, she has said things for a very long time, but she never really said it like she's saying it now. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, that she's just saying this because he is allegedly going to be marrying Amy from Love and Hip Hop. But Royce actually drops a lot of information. And like I said, when I did the video, I said it was like so much information that I would just have to go live because I'm going to play her actual video, but I'm going to stop it because I actually did my own research and I don't know what happened between her and Dwight Howard, but a lot of the information that she is saying can be corroborated. So it makes it seem a little bit believable. So let's kind of get into it because she said so much. I don't want to try to remember what she said. But it was very, very shocking at what Royce is alleging that her child's father, Dwight Howard, did. So let's just jump into it. And then, like I said, I'm going to stop it because I was able to pull up information from other individuals, not only other individuals, but a specific person that was actually there at that time. Then there was also a report made of what had happened that day. And there's also another YouTuber involved. But y'all, we got to jump into it because it's a lot of information. And like I said, I could not attempt to do a video on this. It was just way too much. So let me kind of get into this really quickly here and share my audio. Just give me a second. Did I get rid of it? Okay, let's get into it.
We're going to have a talk. Because I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen today. And tell me if I'm wrong. Because there's some of you who are out there who are thinking that I'm talking now because he's engaged. Again. Okay. I'm going to tell you what the PR tactic is and why. Because somebody snitched and told that side what baby mama number 1 and number 2 were up to. But it's all good. So I'm going to let y'all know what's going to happen today. Okay? And y'all are going to be, well, some of y'all just hate me, which is totally fine. I mean, hate is a strong word, but some of y'all really hate me. Some of y'all really be on like Lipstick Alley still. I was blown when I found out that was still a thing. Oh my God. That's still a thing. Wow. But tea has been spilled. So let me tell y'all what's going to happen today before I put out part 4. Because of everything that is going on, there is a birthday party that is happening today. Yes, a birthday party. There's a birthday party for his third daughter. I'm sorry, well, second daughter, but third child. The child that was born 6 months, not even, after his first daughter. Yeah, all the kids that were kept secrets. Anyways, there's going to be a birthday party today, and it's going to have his family and, you know, not friends of this child, because the child lives in Canada, but I digress. There's going to be this huge birthday party. It's going to probably be at his house. He's going to post a bunch of pictures. He's going to have a PR person, a photographer, who is going to go around and videotape all these decorations, okay? And every photo, every video is going to be of, you know, the child smiling and being so happy. There's going to probably be a karaoke video of some sort. There's going to be a lot of hugging and a lot of smiling, a lot of this. It's going to be a whole lot of that. That's what's going to happen today. Why? Because everything is now coming out. All right. So I just want y'all to be prepared. It is definitely a PR stunt. The other daughter that was basically stolen from her mother is there. She was just dropped off late last night, I believe. Because she loves her sister. She loves her siblings. I'm not about the okie doke. I'm not about the PR stunts. I'm not about any of that. I've never been about it. Why? Because I majored in basically entertainment, theater education, and humanities. Humanities was probably the best thing I could have taken because I learned a lot about psychology. So when people are pushed up against the wall, especially when you're an entertainer, what you have to do is you have to put out PR stunts. You have to have a PR team. So when things come out about you that are bad and you're an elephant fighting an ant, it's easy to shut me up. It's easy to make the world go around and say, oh my God, she is just jealous because he's engaged now. Are y'all serious? Y'all really, there's no way that some of y'all really think that. But if you do, that means because you will eat, sleep, shit that person, which is not fine. But if that's your life, then so be it. But for me, I'm about truth, and I'm about being shut up for over 17 years. And I say over 17 years because my child is 17, but I was pregnant, right? And then we go back from that and we talk about when we were dating. Regardless of age, we dated for 3.5 years, okay? And even though I was 5 years older than him, that shit happens, I was also very young-minded myself. And I think people miss that because when they hear 24, they think about themselves when they were 24. But let's give some context. When I was 24, I had only had one sexual partner consensually, okay? I was raped of my virginity. So I was not experienced in all of that at all. I didn't really know about different positions. I didn't know about different things that happen during intercourse. I was just as green as I thought he was. I was told that, he had just recently lost his virginity. We had these deep ass conversations. All right. And I felt like he enjoyed the same things that I did. We enjoyed being goofy. We enjoyed being silly. We were both immature together. Okay. I enjoyed going to theme parks. This is stuff that we were doing, playing hide and go seek in his townhouse and then house. This is the stuff that we did. We were just immature together. All right. But as time went on and the physical and mental and verbal abuse happened, yes, even at my age and dealing with someone 5 years younger than me, that is 6'11", about damn 200 pounds, you can still be put in your place. Okay. So we're not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, you should have known better. Maybe I should have, but that's not how I was raised. And that's just what it is. But what I have learned and what I learned at FAMU is to really read people. So it took me, yes, about 4 years to read who this person really was. But once I did start paying attention to certain things. I did start paying attention to certain traits. I did start paying attention to what he was telling me versus what was being done. So his sister and him coming on my live yesterday and commenting, and I'm so happy I didn't see it because I was just so into speaking. I'm so happy I didn't see it because had I probably would have said a lot more, such as their older brother molesting them. Okay. I'm just going to put it out there. And y'all might be like, oh my God, did she just say that? Yes, the fuck I said it, because the same thing happened to my son for 5 years and nobody did shit. Okay. So when you're dealing with a family who has had sexual assault and molestation in their family and they hid it, they went to church. Heal my son. Okay. And it was a half brother. So it wasn't the mother's son. It was the father's older son. But finding out about all this stuff, and I've heard it before, but I didn't hear it necessarily in depth when he was crying on my shoulder about things that had happened to him and his sister. I kept it. But then when it started happening more and more and more, and now you're trying to basically be quiet and you're trying to act like it didn't happen. There was an entire interview that was done about this brother and how much he loved him and everything. You go on Google or you go on Bing or whatever these little search engines are, you don't see them shits. You don't see them at all. All those stories have been wiped clean. So when people tell you that something is on the internet or when something is on the internet, it's on there forever, that's a fucking lie. Money can get shit removed. Okay. There is not one story about that brother anymore. But yes, that is the brother that molested his sister for years. And they still sent her to spend time with him during the summer. The only time that that brother went to jail was when he molested his own daughter. And she told. People are mandated reporters. Okay? That's why his ass finally went to jail. It wasn't because of what he had done to the brother, him, his sister, none of that, because they believe God can handle it. All right? So for 5.5 fucking years, my child was molested. And I knew it. I threatened the nanny. Well, let me not say threatened, because like I said before, I promised her if I found out that she was doing something to my child, we're going to have a problem. When I found that out, what happened? I get ghosted, y'all. I now know nothing about what is going on in that house. And that's where I ended video 3. So I'm doing video 4 right now on live. All right? So let's talk about it. My child continued to come home. As he got older, he started stating certain things. Mind you, I am now in court because I'm refusing to let my child go over to his father's house. Wouldn't you, as a mother, if you know that your child is being touched, wouldn't you as a mother not allow your child to go somewhere regardless of what the fuck the system says? I'm pretty sure you would. But what y'all saw on the internet, what y'all saw in the blogs and on the news, who I thought was real. I always thought the news was real. I'm sure a lot of us did growing up. We thought if it's on Channel 9, Channel 2, WESH, what all these other shits are, they have to be telling the truth, right? No, they don't. They say whatever the fuck they want to say. Obviously, look who our president is. Or y'all president. Anyway, moving on. After I made that threat, I was told very little about what was going on in the house. When I would call to check on my child, nobody would answer. There was an assistant there by the name of Mrs. R. I'm going to say Mrs. R because she really did try to help me. When I was telling her about how I felt, she was like, well, I don't trust her anyway because she's been caught on camera stealing clothes. Oh, but she's still the nanny. That's crazy to me. But anyway, cool. Let's move forward. My child is still being dropped off at home. And as I'm giving him baths, he's playing with himself. But in a way that's not like normal, because I asked the doctor about it and I'm like, is he supposed to be doing this? I know like boys, you know, they get erections fast, but like, is it normal for them to do this, do that? And she's like, absolutely not. She's like, you need to start writing things down in a journal. Do I need to go get my journal? Do I need to go get my phones? Because I have all the emails of where I talked about this. But let's move on. We now go to court because I'm denying visitation. That's how it was put on the internet. That's how it was put in the news, that I am being taken to court again because I am unable to work with. I am not following the agreement that we have. I am just this terrible, bitter baby mama, right? That's what was put out to the world. That's what people were thinking about me. When in the meantime, I'm fighting for my child, right? We go to court and I got all this proof. I got stacks of paper and I can't really say too much because why? He got our case sealed. Why are we sealing cases if it's about me? Why are we sealing cases if you're so right in what you're doing and you want to show the world that I'm crazy? Why are we sealing cases? But our case is sealed. Cool. Whatever. I'm still fighting for my child by any means necessary. So in court, when I make the comment about my child is being molested, how dare you say that? This is Judge Timothy Shea. I will say his fucking name. Judge Timothy Shea Okay? This man told me, how dare you make that accusation about Mr. Howard? How dare you do this? And if I ever hear you say anything like this again, I'm going to just change custody. I'm going to give custody to Mr. Howard 100%. What? It's in the docket that I got my ass up and I cussed him out and I said, fuck you. I turned and I said to his attorney, which was Man Downs, and I said, fuck you. And I started walking out the courtroom. I swore that was the day that I would get my first mugshot. I did. But I didn't. And I walked. I didn't run. I walked to the elevator. I got on that elevator. I walked out the courthouse. I walked to the parking garage. I got in my car. I left the parking garage. Nobody stopped me. But yes, I also called his attorney a fat ass bitch. I did. Because at this point, this is about my child. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all got to say. Y'all can sit here and call me a bitter baby mama. You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe the fuck I am because of what my child went through, and people sat there and just let him run with this narrative and y'all believed it. So when you ask me why the fuck am I talking now after, oh, it's been 20 years. It ain't been 20 years. My child is 17. Okay. So let's 18. But you're asking me why I'm talking now. Why else wouldn't I talk now? There's a whole new agreement in place. And his dumb ass didn't realize that by us having this new agreement, it trumps the old one, dummy. So yes, I can talk now. And even though you gave us shit for the remainder of Braylon being a minor through graduating high school, it ain't even about the money. I know how to work. I know how to get up and get a job. I just restarted my company. I have a whole bunch of shit happening for me. So just because you don't pay shit, please don't think that's why I'm doing this. You have never helped with Braylon. You sent a check and then you stopped that check in September of last year. So this whole agreement that you're talking about we have, I don't care. I don't fucking care. I'm going to still make it happen. I have made it happen since I was 16 years old, and I'm going to make it happen now. Mortgage will be paid. Bills will be paid. Trips will be taken. Experience will be had. I don't need your money, but I will tell my fucking truth, y'all. This man is evil. This man put his hands on me. This man threatened me with a knife. This man literally said he could kill me right now. And nobody would say anything because he could claim self-defense, and because everybody loves him and hates me, he get away with it. These are the type of people that y'all are defending. Y'all defended Diddy. Y'all defended R. Kelly. Do I still listen to some of his music? I ain't gonna lie. There are certain songs that I might still listen to, but I still know that he's a fucking evil ass person. Like, let's be for real now. We're not going to sit here and come at me and act like I'm just so crazy. I'm not. And anybody, why are you doing this on the internet? What are we supposed to do with this information? Listen and learn and understand, because y'all got this person on TV shows wearing wigs, okay, and dancing around, and you voting for him when this whole person is out here being a straight narcissist and abuser. Like, let's be for real. I don't give a fuck what anybody got to tell me right now. You're not going to do that. And yes, I am a little upset because it never stops. It never stops. That's why I'm doing this, because it's still happening. I'm not the only one that's talking. I'm not. Number 2 was going to have her story too. But she's waiting. I'm telling my story now because it matters. Because people cannot continue to get away with this shit. How quick we forget about what just happened. And just because, oh, it came out that the case was dropped because he admitted it was consensual, what the fuck do you think my child has been seeing? And being told that it was okay. We're not going to sit here and now make it seem like I'm a horrible mom and like I didn't raise him right when we grew up talking about the No No Square song. Like, let's not do that. A mistake was made at 11, 12 years old. Stop it. We played house. We played hide and go get it. Let's stop right now of pushing this narrative that his daddy fucking started. That his family started. Let's also talk about my child going to Georgia for a month and them getting him kicked out of homeschool because they refused to let him do his work. They sent him to church, was trying to have like a priest tell him to say none of this happened to him. Literally was trying to get in his head and say, your mama made this up. A priest. A priest. Not a tutor. A priest. Coming to my child in Georgia as he's running around on this farm, trying to force him to say on camera, because there's cameras everywhere, this didn't happen to me here. This didn't happen to me here. This didn't happen to me here. Of course he's not going to say that because I raised him right. Let's talk about how even when the nanny was fired and why she was fired. She was fired because she touched another child. Do we know where that nanny is? He does. Will he tell anybody? No. You want to know how I know he knows where he is? Because he had to say that in a meeting that we had. Is she aware of the accusations? Yeah. If you're being accused of sexually abusing a child, wouldn't you come out and say something? Is that just me? Because I swear I would come out and say something. I really would. That's not something that you just take lightly. She's never said shit. Nobody knows where the fuck she is. Why? Because in my opinion, I believe that she was paid to leave. Just like I was offered, along with some of the other mothers were offered money to say that our child was not his. So even though there's 5, is there 5? All these years I have missed out on any type of career that I've tried to have. Not because I wasn't trying to have a career, but because I couldn't get a job, because every single time I would get something, all of a sudden it would be taken from me because of him and his PR people. Are y'all sure y'all want to work with her? She's really dramatic. Okay. I majored in theater. I am dramatic. But I'm not a liar. You're not going to sit here and make it seem like I'm just making stuff up. So let's keep going. Next thing, find out that there's another child. Mind you, he was still in my text messages and I was ignoring him. We still in court. I'm ignoring him because since you want to take everything to the court, we're going to leave it in the court. There's no reason why we need to communicate at all because you're out here lying on me. You're out here taking opportunities from me that I have fought so hard to have. I don't care how the fuck old I was. We met when he was 18, almost 19, and I was freaking 24. Braylon didn't come until I was 27. So yes, if people want to say, oh, he was young, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Go ahead and say he was young. and I was immature, and he was probably maybe the second person that I had sexual intercourse with back then in 2004. As many times as I tried to move on, he would contact whoever I was dating. I don't know, Dwayne from season 1, I'm going to get in contact with him because he told me even a few months ago, he was like, girl, if you need anything, I got you, because I was there day one. So if I need to get Dwayne to release a statement about what he went through and the threats that he received when he was with me, I could do that. Because he was threatened that if he was with me, that bad things would happen. When I moved on, when I was dating Brian, y'all remember him from the show. Brian was there when a lot of shit was happening as well. Brian and I are still cool. Desmond was really there when a lot of shit was happening, because Desmond was going to be the one, right? You know what he did? He started contacting all these different associates of his. Desmond was playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then he got traded. I'm trying to tell y'all that people who are in these higher positions, they will throw the rock and hide their hand. So again, like I said, I had to stop myself because I got to keep telling my story, and I got to tell it in order because I know there's a lot of questions. But when I tell y'all today, there's going to be a PR stunt. And maybe not anymore because I'm saying something, but there's going to be videos of a birthday party of a daughter he hardly ever sees, and the other one that was forced to go back. Huge birthday party. But you want to know who has never gotten a birthday present? Our son. You want to know who has only gotten a Christmas gift 3 times out of 17 years? Our son. Why? Because I didn't coddle. Because I didn't do the bending. Because I didn't do a lot of things that he was asking me to do, because I knew it was wrong. There are other people, even when we were dating, that he wanted me to go off on. There were people that he wanted me to basically ruin their life. And I was like, nah, why? Why you care so much? One of them being one of his exes. And I refused to do it. Because why? Why are we doing that? If you don't care, why are we doing this? So again, this has nothing to do about the new person he's with at all. Nothing. Please understand, this has nothing to do about her. I wish her all the best. I do. But this ain't got shit to do with you, sweetheart, at all. This has everything to do with me and my child and what he is still doing behind the scenes. He's still making phone calls. He still has blogs like The Shade Room under his wing. Okay? They only post negative things about me, if you've noticed, or the captions are always very one-sided. I need y'all to pay attention. That's what I need y'all to do before you become the next victim or someone that you know. I know y'all don't know me from shit except from a show or from doing this little series thing. I know that. But what I do need you to understand is I'm not just doing this because I'm bored. I'm doing this because this is my last straw. This is my Hail Mary. This is the last thing that I can possibly do to get him to leave me the fuck alone. Leave us alone. You don't pay a dime in child support. Leave us alone. Stop calling our son and trying to get him to feel like he's such a terrible ass person because he don't want to have shit to do with you. You've never been in his life for real. I am the one who forced him to go to that show. I'm the one who said, you know what? Just take it for the experience. You're going to see Miss Phaedra. You haven't seen her in years. She would love to see you, I'm sure. And then he saw Omarosa, who I've known forever, that I know it's a whole big controversy with her. But the person I know is cool shit. So I told him, go and experience this. I don't have those connections. I don't know these people like that. I can't get you in all these doors because they've been shut for me. I have been blackballed from a lot of the mainstream industry because of this person. And y'all want me to shut up? Y'all want me to be quiet? I have been suicidal. I have been in positions where I just wanted to get up and just leave. I wanted to change my name. I wanted to just stop everything. And then I look at that face in there, and even though he's 17, I still see myself, and I still see innocence. I still see regret. I still see misunderstanding. I see healing as well. This is something that now he has to deal with for the rest of his fucking life because people want to get on this internet and call him all types of names for a mistake that he made after a conversation his father had with him. When your own father calls you gay at 11 years old because you haven't touched anything or done anything, that's crazy. When your father is sitting here telling you, well, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman because a man's, G-spot is in his ass. Why are you telling a freaking 12-year-old this? This is a conversation that was had during quarantine. So let's get into that even. Because now at this point, I don't give a fuck. I was in Georgia for quarantine. I almost didn't go because when it first came up, it was a whole text thread between me, Mimi, God, girl, I miss you, Christine, okay? And I also believe Tiffany was in there. We agreed to go, me, Christine, well, let me not say that. The ones that agreed to go were Christine and Mimi. I was like, nah, because I was dating a doctor at the time. If you go back on my thread or whatever, I'm not sure if I archived it, but I was dating a whole doctor from the Bahamas. He was fine as hell. But when the world really started like shutting down and then Mimi passed because she had a seizure and she drowned in the toilet, weird. I got a phone call of devastation. I mean, y'all, this person, you want to talk about me? Tootie, you want to talk about me needing to be on the big screen? Let's talk about your brother, bitch. I got a phone call bawling. Oh my God, I can't believe she's gone. I'm so devastated. What am I going to do? You don't even know David like that. You don't even know your son like that. Let's not even forget that you introduced him to your family at a Thanksgiving dinner in front of your girlfriend, Christine, out of nowhere, and was like, oh, this is my son, and I'm thankful for him. Thanksgiving, okay? That's how you introduce your son to your family. I had already met him in Houston because I was invited to Houston. That's how I met David, and he just flops in with his curly hair, crazy as hell. That's how I met him. And that's also how I met Mimi. And we hit it off almost immediately. Again, rest in peace. I love you, Mimi. I miss your ass so much. She was real as shit. She was a beautiful person. She had a beautiful voice. She had a lot going for her. So please don't even have this notion that none of us had anything going on, because we did. But let's go back to quarantine. He calls and he's boohoo crying and saying all these things about why he really needs us there. I get on the phone, I'm talking to Christine, and she was like, you know what, Royce, just go ahead and go. Go ahead and go. So even though I'm arguing with my boyfriend about going, he's like, I understand. That's why I went to quarantine. So we're in Georgia and get there. It's, I want to say maybe around like 8. It was definitely dark, but we get there. And I'm told that we're going to be staying in the guest house. It's a big, huge compound in Gwinnett, Georgia. I am taking out the stuff, putting it in the car. And then I get a text message saying, hey, come to the kitchen. We're about to have dinner. All right. I go. This is the first night, y'all. I go. I sit at the table. Everyone's trying to act like things are normal. This shit ain't normal. So my first question, not going to lie to you, was, what changed? Why are we here? Like, I really need to know what changed before I can be comfortable in a house with someone who has despised me in the past. And he was like, you know, life, man, and quarantine, and, you know, the world is about to end, and I just want to make sure I have my family here. I got a therapist coming in. We're going to do that ayahuasca thing or whatever, you know, that drink you take, and they blow some shit up your nose, and it's supposed to make you, like, all of a sudden just have all these revelations. And I was like, you know, okay. I thought the conversation went well. I later found out that they went out in the garage and were upset, or he was upset that I asked that question. But moving on. I was in Georgia for quarantine for about 3 months. And I actually left at one point to go home for Mother's Day. And then I went back. That's actually when I broke up with my boyfriend, because he didn't understand why I was going. And she was doing pretty much everything trying to get their relationship back on track. What I was being told, and you know, I have the text messages, and at this point I'll probably release them. I was being told that I want to make you the matriarch because you're smart, you call me on my shit, you don't let me get away with anything, and you know how to save money. And I'm like, okay, but what does that consist of? And he's like, well, I mean, I know that you got a lot going on right now, but you could stay at this house, or I can get you another house. And I know Tyler Perry, I can get you in movies. I could get our son a trainer. And
okay, guys, I hope y'all can hear me. Pay attention to this part, because I'm going to bring up some receipts and kind of to corroborate what she said. She's going to start to talk about her relationship with, she's going to talk about her relationship with, what's his name? Dwight Howard, but she's going to get into some specifics. So let me just start it back so y'all can continue.
the sister wives situation. Hell no. Hell no. We're not going to do that. There was a day, there was a day where everybody was supposed to do mushrooms. I don't know y'all like that. So I pretended to take them. Legit pretended. And if you don't know how people take mushrooms, a lot of people take mushrooms by eating them with peanut butter. I didn't do that because I don't know y'all like that. Like, these are people that are not my friends. So I put it in my mouth, but then I did it like this. And I just sat there, and for like 30 minutes, people were normal. And then all of a sudden, shit starts happening. People are saying things, they're acting weird, people are touching themselves. It was weird. I ended up leaving the room. So that was one of those days. Now, another day, I walk into a conversation that is being had with my 12-year-old son about sex and about like, oh, well, you know, my ex was, you know, well, not even saying my ex, because at that point, I think they were still something. This was the basketball player girl. But she was coming by the house. She was coming by the house with these 2 dogs she had and was like checking on things, trying to see if we were fucking. Not yet. But anyway, he was having this conversation with our son, along with 2 of his friends, and they were talking about heterosexual relationships, homosexual relationships, threesomes, where their G-spot was. And this is a bunch of dudes, y'all, talking to a 12-year-old. So, and telling him that he's gay because he hasn't touched anything. When I tell you my child was not even allowed to listen to the radio until he was 10, I mean that. We were Disney Live. We were Kids Space Live. We had satellite radio. I made sure that I was raising him in an innocent way. So these are the conversations that are being had with him. Now let's fast forward a little bit, because I went in there and I went off on everybody. I did. I was like, he's fucking 12. What are you doing? He doesn't need to know that. Oh my God, you're raising him to be a pussy. Oh, what are you, you know, like, he's supposed to be doing this by now. Why? Man, you know how we were when we were little. How were you? Because I wasn't like that when I was little. Did I like, you know, like sneak and watch porn? Like I would find my dad's tapes? Yeah, I did do that. But not until I was in high school. I wasn't thinking about that when I was 12. I was thinking about cheering and dance and gymnastics and running track. That's it. That's what my head was, sports. So why again are you having this conversation with a 12-year-old? Somebody tell me. Is that okay? So of course, now this is in his head. Now he feels like, oh my God, my dad thinks I'm gay. My dad thinks this, my dad thinks that. His friends think this, his friends think that. But now let's fast forward again. I went home for Mother's Day. And while I'm home, I'm getting all these text messages. I miss you. I really want us to try and work things out. I know that I've done all these things to you. All this bullshit. Like, whatever. I'm saying this because this is what happened back then. Please do not think that I'm saying this because I still want him. No, I'm telling you the fucking story. Okay? So, all that is happening. I keep everything. I will post the messages. I'm just going to show y'all the whole thread. All right? But I'm going to post it. Anyway, all that's happening. And when I go back after Mother's Day, it was like there was a complete and total shift. All of a sudden, there's like all these people at the house. Who are these people? We're supposed to be in quarantine. Like 6 feet apart. Like everybody's been tested. What are we doing? So maybe I maybe was there for a couple days. And I went to take a nap one day and I woke up and it was dusk. And I saw the fireflies even, y'all. Like it was a scene. So I walk out the guest house and I'm coming down the stairs. And like I said, it's very pretty. Fireflies that I never see here in Florida are everywhere. It was gorgeous. But then I see people hanging over balconies. I hear a bunch of cursing. I hear some music. And I see the trainer. But then I see him. And he's throwing up over the balcony. What the fuck is going on? And he's like, man, you know, nothing. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, man, we just having fun. You know what I'm saying? We just having fun. Where is our child? What? Trainer? Man, she's talking about her child. Where her child at? Of course, they're saying his name. And then he goes, man, what the fuck? Like, man, leave me alone. And then trainer says, fuck you. He gets pissed off. They start arguing. I run in the house. On the table, I see a table full of mushrooms, a white powder, peanut butter. I also see a girl peeing in a seat. Literally, like peeing in a seat, but in first position, peeing in a seat, like this. Okay? One of his seats. Peeing, pissing. I see people who are by the snake room, and they in there just like dancing offbeat. And I'm just thinking I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like, what the fuck is happening here? So I go upstairs and I'm looking for my child. I'm screaming his name and everything. How his room is, he has this big ass room, and then there's like this little like area where like there's a TV. That's where he is. And he's sitting there, 12 years old, like this. This is how I found my child. Okay? And I asked him, I was like, baby, are you okay? What's wrong? Nothing, I'm okay. And I was like, what's wrong? He's nothing. 12, y'all. My 12-year-old turned into a 5-year-old. And he's asking me, or I'm asking him, like, did something happen to you? And he said, no. He's like, I was just hungry. And I'm like, well, you were just hungry? What are you talking about? He's like, I was just hungry. And I said, what did you do? And yes, I started yelling at him because now I'm scared. He was like, I was just hungry. I said, Braylon, did you go downstairs? And he was like, I didn't mean to. And I was like, did you go downstairs? He said, yeah. Did you eat anything off that table? And he said, no. I shook him. I did. Did you take anything off that table? And he swore up and down to me that he did not. So I got him and I said, just go ahead and pack up whatever you want to pack up. I'm like, we're going to go to my room. And he said, okay. We went down the stairs and we went out the front door, not the back door. So they didn't see us. And that's where we were for the remainder of the evening. That's a lie. That's where he was the remainder of the evening. I came out at one point and I talked to the groundskeeper, who I'm also still very close to. And I'm asking him, like, what the fuck is going on? And I asked where the nanny was. He said, well, she off the clock. She clocks out at 6 o'clock, y'all. She's no longer taking care of anybody. She in her room minding her business. Groundskeeper, he's in his room watching TV. He was like, man, he having one of these parties again. And I'm like, and this is okay? We got kids here. I know, but you know how he is. No, I don't know how he is. I've never seen this side before. I didn't know this is what he does. And he's like, man, what? Yeah. He's like, he smoke all day. He take mushrooms. He does all these things. This man smokes every day, all day. And if you don't know that, that's crazy, especially by now, because I don't even think it's a secret anymore. And so be it. I have a medical card. Do I smoke? I don't really smoke because I don't like smoking, but I have edibles because I have anxiety and just because sometimes it makes me feel better. I get it. But every day, all day, right? Moving on. Next day, because I ended up going to sleep. The next day, I come downstairs and I see paraphernalia everywhere. It was almost like they just decided to run across the entire property and just throw shit. So I find the groundskeeper again and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening? Actually, I skipped a part. I skipped the big part. I actually went downstairs first because I was walking my dog. So I had my dog there and I'm walking him. And little LJ, rest in peace, baby girl. I'm walking her, and I hear cursing. And I see Kevin Wesley and this dude named Callie. And Callie is going off on this man. He is cussing him out, talking about how the fuck you ever try me like that, dick in the booty ass. I ain't motherfucking gay. I ain't doing this. Like, excuse me, if you feel as if I'm making slurs, I'm just telling you what was being said and what I heard. So this is what I'm hearing. And I'm like, with my dog like this, like, come on, Blue, come on, Blue. And I decided to walk the other way across the property instead of the front. They walk all the way to the gate. This man leaves out the gate. He's still cussing and everything. He's like, you gonna see me. You gonna motherfucking see me. So as I put Blue away, that's when I go in the house and I find the groundskeeper and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Because this ain't normal, right? And he's like, wait, he said, what? I'm like, yeah, he talking about calling the cops. He talking about coming back and shooting up this whole house. I don't know how that's going to work. But this is what he's doing. So we get up and we start cleaning up the front of the house, inside the house, behind the house. And also let me know at one point during the evening that somebody went missing and we thought that maybe they had jumped in the lake. So I was actually called and my door was knocked on. It was like, we can't find. So I did get up another time and we just started looking, only to find out that they were in a bathroom together. But anyway, so moving on, we're picking up all the paraphernalia around the house and there's police cars driving past the house. Now they can't get on the property because it's a property that's locked. Like you have to have permission to get in there. Someone has to buzz you in. So they're just driving by. Slowly though, but driving by. We are going around.
Okay, guys, I am going to show you all some receipts. Just give me a moment here. Oh boy. Okay, just give me a moment. So just give me a moment. Now, if you guys remember, I cut it off there. Wait a minute. Okay, guys, can you hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. If you guys were paying attention, she mentioned the police. What she was mentioning is that there was an alleged sexual assault. She didn't say that, but what she said was there were men yelling, and then a dude said, you D-I-C-K in a booty a ninja. That's what the dude said. So when I was listening to that, I said, wait a minute, let me look. So if you guys remember, she said that the police were circling the area, but the police could not get in. So let me kind of give you some context to that. I don't know where you guys live. I would assume they have these type of properties everywhere. But there are places in Georgia where it's gated, and some places just have their own little area where you cannot get access to their property unless somebody lets you in. So keep in your mind, she mentioned Kevin Wesley. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kevin Wesley, but he's also a YouTuber, and he's one of those guys that has multiple wives. Whatever that means, I don't remember. But I'm going to show you a few things with regards to what, well, let me just start with, if any of you guys are familiar with Mrs. LaTruth and LaTruth, put a 1 in the chat. The reason why I'm bringing them up is because Kevin Wesley is actually LaTruth's brother. Now, if you guys know, he has multiple wives, but allegedly he and Dwight Howard has something going on. And one of the things I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you another video where, let me just get it going. I'm going to show you guys this video.
So yesterday, Miss LaTruth went live. She wanted to speak her piece and spill some tea because Kevin Wesley just kept jumping in her and her husband's business. Now, he is LaTruth's brother, but he just kept going live. And so Miss LaTruth decided to go live and spill a nasty secret about him and Dwight Howard.
Hey, y'all. So I had to come live because it's been brought to my attention that, you know, it's a certain someone want my attention real bad. The certain someone that want to be his brother real bad. He want to be him so bad. He's so obsessed and want to be Robert so bad that every day he got to make a video about me. Now I get the people that's like, oh, y'all put this in y'all business. Y'all shouldn't have posted this. I get that, baby. I totally understand. But in that moment, I wasn't thinking about none of that. In that moment, I'm thinking of this man coming at my daddy and being disrespectful. So let me turn on this camera so that maybe he'll calm down. But he didn't calm down. All right, so now I'm dealing with a lot of lies and defamation against my character. And being so, as these people I'm talking about don't got no money, I can't sue them for defamation of character. But I will, because even your grandkids will start. Okay? Your grandkids will pay me. But I'm really sick of this man, and he talking about me. I'm not even married to him. He talking about me. He ain't even lived in my house, and he talking about me. I ain't never been around this man long enough to even know shit about him. But because I was married to his brother, I know a lot about him. Like, for instance, him and Dwight Howard doing mushrooms together, and they were supposed to be doing inappropriate things, as in gay things. So your brother thought you was on the down low. He was questioning that. As in, you know, you asking Dwight Howard for so much money, but now Dwight don't want to give you no more money. So now that's why you asking Robert. Now you constantly asking Robert for money, right? Yeah, you on his payroll. So when it comes to certain things, it just really annoys me that this person got so much to say about me and don't even know me. One of your first videos was, oh,
Okay, guys, so I just wanted to bring up that video because when Royce was saying Kevin Wesley, that is her ex-brother-in-law. So Kevin Wesley is her ex-brother-in-law. So she did a video years ago exposing Kevin Wesley for having some kind of inappropriate relationship with Dwight Howard. Well, I wouldn't say it's inappropriate. I mean, I guess he wants to put on a facade as if he likes women, but apparently he likes women and men. So I just wanted to kind of corroborate her story because that is what she said. And people are dragging this woman saying she's lying, and y'all don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. The stuff that she says, I researched it and it adds up. She said Kevin Wesley was there, and then I go and I find videos, but wait a minute, I have another video. Now there was another guy that was there, y'all, and let's just get into what he had to say. So she's not making this up, and it's a shame that people are dragging this woman for something that, you know, she's saying was her experience. So let's get into this video. Just give me a second here. Let me
stand on that. You even showed the video. You didn't press me about anything. You even said it in the video. You didn't press me, brother. You get what I'm saying? My energy never changed. You were the one in the video that said, can we stop this? Can we stop? You played the video. You were the one in the video that said, can we stop this? Can we just bring this to an end, Kylie? And I said, all right, cool. Because once you told me you didn't press me, it wasn't nothing else to keep going, brother. So I said, cool, we can end this now. I just want the people to know you didn't press me, right? But here's what I want you to know, brother. I get it. I understand who you are to this internet. You live your life off the internet, right? And it's cool. It's cool, brother. But what you need to start doing, brother, is taking accountability for yourself. Listen, Kev, I don't think you're a bad person, brother. I just think you made a bad decision, especially when it came to me. You just made a bad decision when it came to me. Okay? I don't think you're a bad person. But one thing you have to start doing is forgiving yourself for for that one bad decision, brother. I know it's got to be hard that you're on the internet and you have to answer these questions about you and the basketball player and mushrooms. Yeah, you know what happened in that house. You know what was going down in that house, right? And you know what I was with and what I definitely wasn't with. You know I wasn't selling my soul for nothing, brother. But we understand you couldn't say the same. But listen, that's fine. Here's the thing. You got to start forgiving yourself for what you did. Okay? So deflecting onto me and trying to put the blame on me ain't going to help your healing process, brother. It's not going to help your healing process. But you're going to be okay once you start taking accountability, right? Because you love to talk about accountability, right? So once you start to take accountability for the mistakes you made, the decisions you made, and you start to deal with that, you look yourself in the mirror and you start to deal with what you and the basketball player had going on. Yeah. What you and the basketball player were doing in that house, even when I wasn't there, like that his baby mamas told me about. You know, hey, it's all good. That's y'all business. That's y'all business. You got to look at this. Even your own brother was questioning you, brother. Your own brother was questioning you. Wow. You couldn't come to my brothers, or you couldn't come to me about my brother and say the things that were said about you that was said about you. Because I'm going to be like, yeah, no, that ain't even my brother. But see, brother, you were already being questioned even back when me and you were cool. So this didn't start with me, brother. This didn't start with me. You were already being questioned when me and you were cool. People were questioning you then. Remember? You were being questioned back then. But because you was my homeboy, I ain't see what they saw. Like, I ain't see. But guess what? I understand, you know, what you got to hide. And I understand why you got to fight so hard to try to prove what you claim you didn't do. I get it. Because it would ruin your image, right? Ain't that the same thing your brother's saying? Yeah, that's what you used to say to me all the time. These people are trying to ruin me, and they're trying to ruin my image. And when I asked you, well, brother, what are you doing to people that every day people are waking up looking to ruin your image, brother? Because I don't wake up and people are looking to ruin my image. That's one thing you cried to me about. Oh, people are trying to ruin me, Callie. Yeah, you stayed crying about that. And it just, I had to wonder, what are you doing to make people want to ruin you? But anyway, I know you're dealing with a lot right now, man. There's some things that you wanted to go away. When you jumped out the window for your brother, it brought it back up. Huh? Brought it back up. Some things that you wanted to go away, man. Some things that you hadn't forgiven yourself from. Some things that you made bad decisions about resurfaced again when you tried to jump out the window for your brother. So when she said, you better shut the fuck up. Hey, I agree with you. When you came back and said, hey, I'm out of it. I agree with you. Because see, she got to know some things. She knows some things, brother. And you trying to jump out the window for your brother, you might want to sit this one out, bro. Because see how it's bringing up other things that you wanted to go away? That's how it happens. That's how it happens, right? I don't think you're a bad person, brother. I just think you made some bad decisions. And your bad decisions are finding you out. And see, these people in your chat and stuff, they don't know you. They don't know you in real life. They haven't been around you in real life. They don't know. They're just followers. They're fans. They believe whatever you tell them. Same with your brother. Y'all are internet figures. Your whole life is scripted. And these internet people believe it. It's all good, brother. I don't want no smoke with you. I ain't got no beef with you, brother. I'm cool in my life. But I see you over there making a video about me, brother. And I'm like, well, damn, you still explaining yourself, brother. You're explaining yourself to people about a brother, me, who gets about 50 people at the most in my live chat. But you couldn't sleep when I would go live because you had to see what I was talking about. That's got to be hard, brother, for somebody who didn't do something. See, you were already being questioned before you did what you did in the house. You were already being questioned then. It just made it worse when your homeboy felt violated, man. When your homeboy felt violated. And we know what these people and these celebrities, what they do in these little secret societies, right? They try to blackmail people. They try to put things over people's head, right? Get them caught in positions. We won't talk about the decisions you made.
Okay, guys, so I wanted to show that video because, again, that was a guy that was pretty much saying that he also knew about Kevin Wesley and Dwight Howard. Again, they're grown men. They can pretty much do whatever they want to do, but that is what Royce was talking about. So how would she know that if she's making up this entire story? And also, Royce has been consistent in what she has said. I don't know if you guys remember, but she also did an interview with Carlos King, and she said pretty much the same thing that she's been saying. It's been remaining consistent. Royce told us that when her son was born, that Dwight Howard told her to pretend that he wasn't the father because he didn't want anybody to know. He didn't want his name on the registry or anything.
Really, really hard. I was told I couldn't put his name on the baby registry. I was told that
you can put the Dwight Howard's name on
I couldn't put father's name. I couldn't put the last name on my baby shower invitations.
Hey, Raindrop.
And that's just, you know, another piece of information. But we must not forget about this because I put up the exact timeline of this man and some of the things that, you know, he's been into because, you know, what she's saying, you know, it definitely has some validity to. Now, the document that I have right in front of me is Royce talked about an allegation at his home. She talked about the police circling, looking in, driving around slowly is what she stated, because he lives in, you know, a property where the police just can't come there. They actually have to let the person in. So this is the actual write-up of that event and what happened. Now, I'm going to, let's see where I want to start. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go down. Well, let's just start from the beginning. It says last week, but I want to let you guys know that this happened. It obviously didn't happen last week, but this is talking about that particular incident that happened in 2021. And that is what Royce is talking about. So it says last week, but I'm just going to read it. It says multiple outlets reported that 8-time NBA All-Star Dwight Howard denied having a man, remember, a man, that is what Royce was talking about. She stated that she heard two men arguing and one man was like, "You D in the booty, a Nick." And he said, "You gonna see me, I'm gonna be back." So Royce told whoever was keeping the grounds of Dwight's property that she thought the man was gonna come back and pew up the property. But what the man did is he called the police, because this is what we're reading. It says the story was first reported by ESPN with the headline, "Dwight Howard denies SA allegations, wants lawsuit." He wanted the lawsuit dismissed, and other national outlets. It just talks about other, you know, places that picked up the story. Now, it said, but those stories all led with denial, not the initial lawsuit itself, which was filed in July. In the suit, Stephen Harper said that Howard SA'd him at Howard's Atlanta home in 2021. That is what Royce is talking about. The complaint was first reported by Radar Online the day after it was filed. It said through Radar Online, It says stayed on the story as well as plenty of other legal battles that included Dwight Howard. The news of this lawsuit didn't make its way into the mainstream NBA press until recently, around the time Howard's legal team filed his response to court. So let's get into it. It said this lawsuit was filed in Gwinnett County Court. As Roy stated, he lived in Gwinnett County. It said it listed multiple counts of assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false imprisonment. Keep in mind, when Royce was describing her story, I don't know if I cut it off at that time, but you cannot leave the property until someone lets you out. So if don't nobody let you out, you can't leave. So it says false imprisonment, 1 count of punitive damages due to willful misconduct, malice, and wantonness, and a count requesting attorney's fees. So this is what he's being alleged to have done. But the lawsuit was not the first time that Harper went to an official body and said that Howard SA'd or assaulted him. So the guy said this was not the first time. The first public record of that was created more than a year ago after Harper went to Gwinnett police. Now it says what follows is based on those police reports as well as documents filed in Gwinnett County Civil Court. I am not the first responder to get any of these documents. That almost exclusively applies to radar. What I'm doing is putting them in chronological order to show what has been said to various authorities since the beginning. So we're going to get into what allegedly happened. On July 15, 2022, Gwinnett police said they received a RAPE report according to incident reports from the Gwinnett police. Now it says an officer called Harper, and Harper said he had been SA'd by Howard. Okay. Now, it says, according to the summary written by the officer, Harper went to Howard's house on July 19th, 2021. He said where they watched TV and they kissed. Now, this was in a supplemental narrative. The officer wrote that Harper said he and Howard had been in a long distance relationship for a few months. Now, this is a man that's in a long distance relationship with Dwight Howard. Now, it says at about 5:00 a.m., another person came over. Now, that person is alleged to be, who y'all think? Kevin Wesley, okay? And that person and Howard both wanted a threesome, but Harper said no. This is what the report said. Now, it said in the supplemental report, the officer added that this was when porn was put on the TV and Howard and the third man began undressing each other. Now, if you guys recall, when I played the video of LaTruth's ex-wife, she said that Kevin Wesley was in some kind of relationship with Dwight Howard. So this is what the report says. What a coincidence, okay? We have to put 2 and 2 together, okay? So the report says, then Howard began rubbing Harper's leg and grabbed his pee-pee. Harper told Howard to stop, and Howard responded by pulling off his underwear and performing oral sex on Harper while the third person penetrated Harper from behind. Now, according to the incident report, now it says in a second narrative written by the police, it said that the other man penetrated Howard, not Harper, while Howard forced Harper to perform oral. Now, the victim stated he cried during the incident, the officer wrote, and that it stopped when Howard, went in his mouth. Y'all know what that means. Harper told the officer that he grabbed his phone and went to the bathroom to call an Uber, but Howard told him to cancel it because the other person would drive him home. So the other person is alleged to be Kevin Wesley. The visitor told him to keep everything a secret. The officer wrote in a narrative, in a supplement narrative, or someone would put a pew pew in his head. Harper told the police per the report that he hadn't talked with Howard since the narrative supplement ended by saying further investigation is needed. So what happens is when they write these reports, they put on there like what's the next step that they're going to take, and what they said is further investigation is needed. Okay. The officer wrote that they called Harper on July 20th, talked to him briefly, and told him that he would call Harper again to have him come into the station for a formal interview. The officer called again that day to make an appointment, but Harper did not answer. The officer wrote that they called again on July 28th, but Harper did not answer and didn't reply to a voicemail. On August 9th, the officer said they sent a letter to Harper to let him know the case would be suspended if he didn't respond. The narrative ends by saying the case is closed by suspension. So let's keep reading. Harper's lawsuit was filed a little less than a year later on July 18th in Gwinnett County Court and went into more detail about what Harper said happened. Per the suit, the two men met over Instagram DMs, then moved to text messages where they talked about meeting up over the summer of 2021 while Howard was in Atlanta. Like the police report, the lawsuit said that Harper went over on July 19th, 2021, and he and Howard engaged in consensual kissing in Howard's bedroom. They watched a movie, but someone was texting with Howard while it played, per the complaint. Then Howard got up and said, "Someone else has just arrived." Howard told Harper, per the lawsuit, it was someone he has threesomes with every now and then. Now, y'all know they are alleging that this is allegedly Kevin Wesley. Okay. Okay. So Harper said he did not want a threesome, but when suggested leaving, Howard told him that he didn't have to participate, so he stayed. The second man joined them in the bedroom and turned on the porn. Then he and Howard began undressing while the second man performed oral sex on Howard. According to the complaint, the lawsuit said that Harper tried to stay calm. Then, like in the police report, the lawsuit said that Howard began rubbing Harper's thigh. He stroked Harper's pee-pee through his underwear, and Harper said no. When Harper said no, "I'm good, stop," according to the suit, Howard said he was going to do whatever to him and he was going to like it. So the man is saying that he told Howard to stop, and Howard is like, "I'm going to do whatever I want to do to you, and by the way, you're going to like it." Now, afterward, like in the police report, so what they're saying is what Harper is saying is pretty consistent. It says Harper said he grabbed his cell phone and went into the bathroom to get an Uber. Howard acted like nothing. Wait a minute. It says, okay, he went in the bathroom to get an Uber. Howard, the complainant, said acted like nothing had happened, but also would not let him out the bathroom unless Harper canceled the Uber. So he wouldn't let the man come out of the bathroom unless he canceled his ride, which he did. Howard then had the other man to drive Harper home. This is not the first time that a person has said publicly that Howard harassed them. Now, in 2018, now, y'all, we are now talking about a whole nother person. They're saying that this is not the first time that a person has said that Howard harassed them. So these people making it up, this is sounding like a Diddy situation. Now it goes on to say in 2018, somebody by the name of Masin Elijah said that Howard harassed and threatened him after they broke up. So this was one of his boyfriends. It says Howard's NBA team at the time, the Washington Wizards, never commented Radar reported that 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 sued Howard a year later, saying he was allegedly harassed and followed by goons after he refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement. The lawsuit ended after it was dismissed by a judge due to lack of evidence. Now, Howard filed his response. Now we're going back to Harper's lawsuit. It says that Howard filed his response to Harper's lawsuit. It says last week, but this is not last week. This is old. I'm just wanting to bring some clarification to what Royce was saying. Now it says in this document, Howard alleges that him, Harper, and the other man came over, but Dwight said that any sexual contact was consensual. So, he's saying that, they all agreed to be nasty. Now, a statement provided by one of his attorneys, who it goes by Justin Bailey, went further, saying a private consensual encounter was made public for profit, and Mr. Howard looks forward to bringing the truth to light in a court of law. Doesn't this guy remind you of Diddy, type allegations when men are coming out saying another man harassed and assaulted them? Okay, it's giving Diddy to me. The allegations against Mr. Howard are contested. Now, this is what his lawyer says. Of course, he's going to contest it. Mr. Howard intends to present the truth. The truth is Mr. Howard blocked Mr. Harper on social media and then was confronted with two options: pay to protect his reputation or have a fabricated story made public. The statement continued, despite being an easy target due to the subject matter and his status as a celebrity, Mr. Howard chose to trust the justice system and will rely on our future court filings to speak for himself. So the same narrative that he didn't do anything, that somebody wanted to get money from him and they just made up this story because he did not want to have any contact with them. Doesn't that sound familiar? In response, lawyers for Harper released a statement and it gives the attorney's name. I can say that we fully anticipated Mr. Harper to raise the issue of consent in his answer and added that they maintain what Howard and the third man did was not consented by Harper. So in essence, he didn't deny what happened. He just said, we all agreed that this was going to happen. It has come to my attention that Mr. Howard is now attempting to label my client's filing of this lawsuit as an act of extortion. So Howard said he just want to get money from me. Seems like that's what they all say, which is absolutely false. Mr. Harper is exercising his legal rights in accordance with Georgia law and seeking regress for the unlawful acts he endured. So this is just, again, guys, I just wanted to bring this information up because people were just, dragging Royce, and I've heard of her situation, but I wasn't familiar with all the intricate parts about the story. So what Royce is saying, there are some definite factuals to what she said. Obviously, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. But what I was doing was trying to find whatever information that I can find. And what she's saying about, those men arguing and the guy saying, you D in the booty, a ninja. That was an alleged, assault. And that is documented because the guy actually called the police. And then, I showed you guys the other videos where the other guy also had information. So it's not totally, the story does seem to have some truth to what she's saying. So let's get to more. Just give me a second here. Let's kind of watch some more.
July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 4. So I need to go back through 2009.
Oops. Yeah, I did it wrong. Give me a second. I did the wrong one.
Hey, y'all. It's Royce, and I'm back again to tell you about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, and still now. all because I had a baby by Superman, part 3. We are now in January of 2008, and I am at my cousin's house, the same cousin that stays around the corner from him. He calls and he says that he wants to come and have a talk with me. I said, okay. He comes by. Superman is bearing gifts. There's a brand new car outside for me, a Lexus SUV, a brand new Sidekick phone, and he offers to buy me a house. After talking it over with my dad, my mom, it was absolutely not, because the house is not going to be in your name, and it's something that he can take from you at any moment if he gets mad. So I declined it. He then said, well, let me refurnish your townhouse. Okay. I was not asked about any type of furniture. They just showed up at my door one day and just started bringing stuff in. No lie. I had no say so. When it came down to me needing diapers and bottles and now formula, because I'm no longer able to breastfeed, my body wasn't producing enough milk. His mom did at one point come by with a bunch of diapers. I was very thankful. But that was it. There was nothing else. There was no help. There was nothing. At this point, I auditioned for a dancing gig at Holy Land. And I got the gig. So I began dancing in late January. So now I have a job. I'm working. On the days that I had to work, my child was with my parents. And on occasion, he would be with his father and the nanny and his girlfriend. Well, there were days where he would come home from seeing or spending time with his father, and he would be very colicky, throwing up, like sick. I mean, fevers, would have to take him to the doctor. It was a lot. That relationship he was in ended. I find out later on that the reason my child was returned super colicky, sick, throwing up, all these things, only to then be told it was because they were purposely giving him food that was opposite of what he was eating. I would pack a bag and I would have it listed of what he should be eating for lunch, for dinner, all these things. And he was intentionally given the opposite. So when he would be returned home, he was sick, colicky, throwing up, having to go to the hospital. When I confronted the situation, I was told that that was a lie and that it was only done because they thought I was trying to micromanage, and they decided that they were just going to give him whatever they wanted to give him. Okay. I let it go, y'all. Now, again, we've had the birthday party. We've had our Christmas. Things seem to be going okay, right? We've now gone to mediation, and in mediation, we agreed to a child support number, and it was drastically, probably a third of what one of my attorneys was requesting. I said that I didn't want to seem like I was out for his money, so I was okay with the amount that was given. Totally fine. Moving forward, I start dating. Now, all of a sudden, I think we should make this work. This is your first kid. This is, my first kid. Let's make this work. Now, this is where I could probably be stupid. Well, I was dumb. I saw family. And I am a very forgiving person. If you know anything about me, I forgive way too much. So we decided to work on a relationship. Crazy, right? But we did. Almost immediately, I regretted it. I was forced to do things sexually that I did not necessarily agree with. But because I wasn't that experienced, I thought it was normal. And I never complained about it. I just felt like this was me experiencing things that maybe he has experienced and I have not. That's when things started turning verbally and physically and also mentally abusive. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that nobody would ever want me. I was told that everybody here loved him and hated me. And how does it feel to have my hometown turn on me? I better not ever leave him. If I left him ever, he would make my life a living hell. And he did. There were days that I would be at his home and I was threatened with a knife, and then it was laughed off. But when the knife was in my face, it was, I could kill you right now and get away with it because I could claim self-defense and they would believe me and not you, because who are you? That happened. He came to my house one day to pick up our child, and because I did not have a bag packed or orange Trident gum or soda in my refrigerator, he followed me into our child's closet and he grabbed me and he pushed me to the floor and said, in the future, I better have his bag waiting. I then left. I go out into the family room and I'm telling his best friend, the one that's an inch away from being a little person, and I'm like, get your friend. He's going crazy. What's wrong with him? Well, he comes in there and he, in front of his best friend, as well as my goddaughter, my other goddaughter, he grabs my hair and he forces me to the floor. And he's like, who the are you talking to? Our child, who is not even 2 yet, is thinking he's playing. So he's grabbing at his leg with his baby voice, and he throws me into the entertainment center. When he threw me into the entertainment center, it broke the door. So I was flung into the one on the right, and our son, who was grabbing him and like thinking he was playing, he then flung him into the other door. I do not think that was intentional. I don't think he knew his own strength, but that's what he did. And it did break that door as well. Our son started crying. His best friend was like, man, what you doing? Like, you know, that's a female. And he's just not caring. That's when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship that I swore I would never be in. Now, moving on, the day that I really wanted to leave was a day where I did not want to have relations with him. And he then forced me to give him fellatio. I know you're wondering, how does someone force you into doing that? When you are dealing with someone that is that big and you are that small and you're terrified of them and they have gotten away with so much and doing so many things, and you're still the one made out to be crazy and bitter, you're probably willing to do just about anything just to get through it. And that's where I was. After that, another nanny came into the picture. I knew this nanny was not okay. When she would drop our child off, he would sit in the doorway and he was hitting himself. Or he would be in the bathtub and he would be playing with himself in a really weird way that just didn't seem right. Of course, he was little, so he couldn't really vocalize things. But yeah, I could tell something wasn't right. There was the day where I invited her inside and I sat her down and I said, I just need to talk to you. And I said, have you ever put your hands on my son? And she swore up and down no. And I said, well, why is he sitting in a doorway hitting himself or playing with himself in the bathtub? And she was like, oh my God, I don't know. Why would you even ask me something like that? I said, because I want to know. She swore up and down that she had never put her hands on my son in an inappropriate way or even as a disciplinarian. I said, okay. And I said, but if I find out that you have ever put your hands on my son, we're going to have a problem. She asked me if that was a threat. I said, no, it's not a threat. It's a promise. She then went back and told them that I threatened her. And I told them the same thing, that I didn't threaten her, that I made a promise. And that's when things started getting hidden from me about what was going on at that house with my child. But I found out anyway. This is also around the time that Basketball Wives was coming to fruition. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm back again to tell you about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, and still now.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to end it here. I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to come on here and show you guys the other videos. And then I wanted to read, the report as to, when it was filed, because that is exactly what Royce has been saying. And I don't know why people is giving this lady such a hard time. And it's her son that she's saying that this happened to. Like, who are we to say that this didn't happen to her son? I think that's absolutely crazy. So y'all make sure y'all hit the like button before you all leave. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.